Welcome to Gavel, auctions across Virginia, where in every episode we talk with auction professionals from across the Commonwealth about the bids, the business, and the people behind the gavel. So let's jump right in. Linford, who do we have with us today?
Today we are very privileged to have joining us Michael and Wendy Grimm. And what you need to know about Michael and Wendy is, besides being great people, which they are, they're both Virginia State Champion auctioneers. And the most amazing thing is that they won it back to back, one year after the other. The first time this has ever happened in the history of our association, where a husband and wife both won. Yeah, give them a hand. There you go. And it's just really, I think it's really special. It was really special because I was working the championship and helping behind the scenes, and I handed Wendy the scores that she was supposed to announce, and of course she didn't know, and so I just whispered to her, "Hey, the trophy is staying at your house," and that's just pretty cool. Anyway, if you look behind Wendy, you can see the trophy there, right there sitting on the shelf. But yeah, pretty cool to have them here. We're glad they're with us, and we'd like to hear their story. So, Michael, why don't you start and tell us kind of how this all happened and what got you here?
Yeah, thanks, Linford. It's been pretty interesting. Wendy set the bar pretty high the year before. I think she won almost every award there is.
Wait a minute, Michael. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. I got fun things to play with. Hey, Michael Grimm, everybody. Woo! Yeah. I just learned how to play with stuff. Go ahead.
You got a good little soundboard there. I like it. What other effects you got on that?
Cool. We'll see if we can't get through all the effects in this thing.
All right. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how I got here, because I was not an auctioneer for sure. I came from California to Virginia. I worked in the film industry, and that's about as far from being an auctioneer as you can get. It just worked out the way that it worked out. I still remember the first auction I went to, because I'd never seen an auction before. I was with Wendy, and she told me, by the end of the day, everything in that warehouse was going to be cleared out. And I thought, there's no way, it's not possible. I felt bad telling her that, she was wrong. And sure enough, 3 hours later, that entire warehouse was empty and my head was just spinning. It was addictive, right? You see the auctioneer up there on the block and they're doing the chant, and it just kind of draws you in. And it was exciting. It was fun. And so this was her family business. Her dad has been an auctioneer for over 50 years. And that's the family that I married into, this auction family. And it just kind of encompasses you and pulls you in. And so after a while, I finally went to auction school. I think it was 8 or 9 years ago now, and got my auction license. And because Wendy had been going to these meetings for the Virginia State something association with auctioneers, and I started paying attention, and it was a cool group of people. We had a lot of fun. Like, I would go and tag along to some of the events, and it was like, this is neat. Like, I enjoyed it and I wanted to be a part of it. So I went to auction school, I got my license, and started working in the business. Most of the jobs I did in the beginning were just holding up those box lots, right? Pre-COVID, when everything was offline and we were selling dollar box lots, I was the one holding it up over my head. And, all these years later, here we are.
Now you're holding a trophy over your head.
That's right. I gotta get that big trophy. I can't find a place to put it on my bookshelf over here.
Well, like, it can go anywhere.
This one fits okay,
anywhere.
but the big trophy, it just doesn't work there.
It likes to travel, I've heard.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get too comfy with it. Michael, how many times did you compete before you won?
That's a tricky question. I could answer that a few different ways. I could say this is the first time I ever competed in the Virginia Auction Association's championship contest, and that'd be true. But I also competed in the rookie contest, and I also competed in the what was it? The Northwest Pacific Northwest contest up in Alaska, and then the Mid Atlantic contest in Maryland, and the IAC contest with the NAA. So I have competed several times, but it feels neat to say this was the first time I technically competed in the Virginia championship contest.
Well, I think that's going to be something that's pretty special because the other three, the rest of us here on this podcast, it took us a lot more than once.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It was easy. I just got up there, I did it, and I won. It was a piece of cake.
That's pretty cool.
Sometimes it just works out like that. That's awesome. Well, hey, Michael, that is an incredible journey, and I just can't believe how cool it is that you got to win it right after Wendy got to win that thing. Back-to-back champs. I don't think that I know that it's ever been done in any association. No, it hadn't been done in our association, and that is just something very, very special that you guys have. And in the latest edition of the Auctioneers magazine that we got has you guys featured as cartoons, and it is incredibly cool. You look like superheroes in that thing. You don't happen to have a copy of that thing laying around, do you?
I actually do.
Oh man, that is awesome. It's like we almost set that up. Well, hey, with that being said, Wendy, why don't you take us down your road to the championship? Ladies and gentlemen, Wendy Grimm!
So, needless to say, my journey was a little bit different. I grew up in an auction company, an auction family, started my first auctions. Gosh, I'm told I was 2 weeks old at my first auction. So they've been a part of my entire life. When I got older, I left the industry entirely. I wasn't going to do auctions, and then just kind of life brought me back. I re-engaged in the company, went to auction school in 2015, got licensed in 2016, and of course, immediately became involved with the VAA and the NAA because growing up in the industry, I knew that's what you do. You get involved with your state and national associations. And I started competing fairly early in that, and I finally won on my 7th year competing. So it was quite a journey, and I go back and I, look at footage from those early years, and I'm like, whew, there's a lot of change that's happened since then. But it's been wonderful. I was privileged to be the first female president of the VAA, which I'm incredibly proud of. I served on the board before that, and then the second female to ever win the big calling contest. And even cooler, like you've already talked about, was getting to be the one emceeing the entire championship this year when I got to watch my husband Michael win. And like Linford was saying earlier, it was so hard when he pulled me aside and was like, "That trophy's staying at your house." And then I had to go back stone face because the champions didn't know. No one knew where anyone placed. So I had to reel it in, not show anything, though of course on the inside I'm squealing. I'm so excited.
I got to jump in real quick. You two both played that too cool because I saw that interaction. I saw that engagement, and that's when I knew I had second place.
Oh, you thought you had second. That is great.
Oh,
well, I'm glad you guys kept it in the bag there. Well, I guess we're down to Linford now, huh? Hey, Linford, why don't you take us down your road, buddy? And I don't want to miss out. Hold on just one second. Ladies and gentlemen, Linford Berry! Take it away, Linford!
You make too much ado about nothing there, Chip. Hey, well,
it's just too much fun.
Yeah. I'm kind of like Wendy. I had to compete a long time to win. I think I won on my 6th attempt at the VAA, but I was no stranger to competing in contests. 17 or 18 different contests that I competed in. And the reason for it was I went to auction school in 2016. Auctioneering was kind of a midlife change of career, but I didn't set out for it to be that. It was just a bucket list thing. I wanted to go to auction school, see if I could do this. And I got out of auction school and I was like, yeah, I probably could do this. So I started looking around at all the successful people that I knew in the auction business, and I wondered how they got there. And one of the things I noticed was that a lot of them had competed. That was kind of the fast track. So I just started competing right away, right out of auction school, and started entering contests just within months of graduating from auction school, and kept at it. And finally, in 2022, I actually won the Mid-Atlantic Championship, and then in 2023, I won the Virginia, and that really was the one I was after. But it took all these other contests to get me there, so it was a long road. But you know, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about the business. You learn to know a lot of people, and so those 17 contests that I entered, the 6 in Virginia, I wouldn't go back and like change that in any way. I wouldn't want to. I don't think I would have wanted to have won it the first or second time. No offense to you, Michael, but um, it was such a
I
valuable
get it.
experience for me. So I would just say to other people who might be looking down that path, don't be afraid to just commit for the long haul. You've got to put the time in. You've got to grow. You got to learn, but enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride, learn to know everything you can. I mean, learn everything you can learn to know the people, because it's a great thing. And then of course finally winning it really was one of the highlights of my life. It's probably the thing that's most remarkable is that trophy that's sitting there behind Wendy has the names on it of all the past champions in the state of Virginia from 1978 or 79 until current. And I happen to know a lot of those guys on that trophy and really highly respect them. I've known them for years. Even before I got in the auction business, I knew a lot of them. And to have my name on that trophy with their name is just like, man, can't be right. That's not even real. So for me, that was the biggest thing. So yeah, it's been a great ride, and glad to see the championship continue, and hopefully it grows. Hopefully, have more competitors going forward. I know back when I got started, there was usually 12, 15, 20 competitors. Now we sometimes struggle to get 9 or 10, but hopefully that continues to grow. So, Chip, why don't you tell us your story?
Thanks, Linford. Yeah. Well,
Hey, we need some kind of effects, man.
Oh no, it's Chip Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait, I'm supposed to laugh. Wait a minute, wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Oh man, somebody's got to take me away from these buttons. So yeah, man, I'm just like you guys. I'm a past champion. Like I said, we wear the ring proud. I carried that trophy around all over the place after I won, and I took pictures. This was back when social media was starting to go wild, and I put that trophy out as many places as I could, because the reason behind that, and the reason I did that, was because number one, that trophy, and when people would see that trophy with me, it would remind them that I was a championship auctioneer, and it actually it helped catapult my career to some degree, because people know who I am. And I mean, you can ask anybody. I mean, people from all over the place who Chip Jones is, and they'll probably ask you where the trophy is, really. But at any rate, mine was the same like you, Linford. I'm not from an auction background at all, and um, I got into the business. Tim Dudley pushed me into the hot seat, said, listen, now you got to go out and try to win the championship. And I'm like, okay, well, tried the first year. That was not good. And I'm like, all right, I don't know if I want to do that again. He said, nope, you're going to do it. And I'm like, what? Okay, well, I'm going to do it again. And that didn't go good either. So, at any rate, eventually they took it back. I think the first couple of times we had it at an auction house, and then I think it was the third time, maybe fourth time, I'm not sure. It was 2019, but I do remember that they took it back to the state fairgrounds. Originally, this contest was a public contest at the state fairground every year, and then we took it to a couple of different places. I think after that, we switched some formats around, changed the date a little bit, but then ultimately we brought it back to the state fair and changed that date back to that October date instead of our convention. That's what it was. So, and that was the last year that we did that there. We had been doing that I don't know how many years, and I was the last year to do it, and I won. And I just remember, I've got this picture, and I wish I had it to show everybody, but it was me holding the trophy up, and you can see that huge Ferris wheel in the background. That big Ferris wheel. Well, hopefully we didn't lose Linford. But anyway, that was like the coolest picture. I want to blow that thing up and put it somewhere. But oh, we may have lost Linford, ladies and gentlemen. Linford Berry has left the building. He is in Hanover County and his pop-up work office there with a generator going. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. There's Linford. He's back.
We just had to get more fuel in the generator.
Linford, we're great to see you back. Thank you. Way to go, Linford. Don't tell him he can't fix technical problems.
Sorry about that. My Starlink must have died for a minute. Blame it on Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon's, come on. He's got to get that thing a little bit better. We had snow today because of that thing, I'm pretty sure, in Virginia in March.
It was 89 degrees yesterday and 30 degrees and snowing today.
90 degrees, yeah, no doubt. And it had to be during your loadout at the farm too, right?
Crazy.
I'm sure that was fun. So anyway, back to the story. I got my championship at the state fairgrounds. It was an amazing thing. It was in the public eye. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of people there, and I used that to catapult myself in my career, just to kind of showcase that. And I think that is. It helped me tremendously, and it was a great thing. It was fun, and we had a good time, and I was able to pass it on, and I still have those memories today. I think everybody else got those trophies too to keep, and they never gave me one. They're like, "No, you've had enough fun with this one. You're not getting a trophy." So I don't have the trophy. I got the ring. Linford, you got the ring, you got the belt buckle, you got the trophy, and you got the carry. So you got it all, buddy. And then
it's okay, Chip. I'll let you look at mine.
Yes. I just want to look at the one in the back behind Wendy every now and again. That thing. Yeah. Well, and what's the name of that trophy? Do you all know?
Linford?
Yes. Oh,
what is the name of it?
Why am I drawing a blank now?
Stuart
Desper Memorial Award. Okay. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I knew I couldn't.
And the reason that it's
maybe we put that on a little plaque on the inside of that trophy.
The reason that it's named the Stuart Desper Memorial Award is because Stuart Desper was an auctioneer who got this whole contest started back in the late 70s. And he did a good job getting it started. He was a great auctioneer. He's from my area, actually, in Stanton, Virginia. And then he passed away like a year or two later after he got the contest started. And he was never able to actually compete in it himself or win it himself. But they say he would have if he could have. But he actually, I think, passed away due to some complications from some exposure that he had in Vietnam or some military service that he did. And so... Yeah, it's really a sad story, but it's a great way to remember him.
Well, his legacy.
Linford, you've actually done a lot of research on the history of that trophy and the people on it, right? Yep. Is there any chance that you've kept a record of that? That'd be neat to...
Oh, not really, but I can probably come up with something.
Maybe we can work together on that. Yep. That'd be a good project.
So, yeah, with that being said, the contest this year, Harrisonburg at our convention, one of the goals for the championship committee is going to be to try to put it back out to the public. We've got a big conference center and hotel that we're going to be at, the Madison Hotel. Do you know the dates, Linford? I mean, you're my analytics guy.
I don't know the exact dates. It's going to be sometime about the third week of January.
Okay.
2027.
Yeah, second or third week of January is probably going to be on a Friday evening. We're going to open it up, let the public come in and watch the greatest of the greatest, and probably, get to see some past champions auction. And I mean, it is, the state championships, and it's going to be in the Valley, so we should probably have a good turnout, I would think.
Yep.
If we can kind of put it out there, especially in the hotel. And maybe we've got a couple of auctioneers. Josh Puffenbarger is actually going to be doing a benefit, and two of the MCs are two broadcasters, local broadcasters from the Harrisonburg area, right there in his back of in his neck of the woods. So he's going to reach out to them and see if we can't get some coverage of that. Wouldn't that be great?
Yep. Yeah, I think we can make it happen. We've got some connections there in the Valley, and the Valley is a very auction-centric kind of area in the state of Virginia, so I believe we'll get a crowd.
Well, that's great. Well, hey, that's all I've got for this episode. Unless anybody, I know Linford last time talked about the two-hole Johnny house and the three-hole Johnny house. What are we going to do? What do y'all got? What do the Grimms got? What do we got to top that? Or maybe get somewhere close?
No Johnny houses at the Grimms.
Anything crazy that you guys have sold, or your dad, or what anything that you could tell us? Any cool story before just to leave? I'm sorry.
I think there probably are a couple things. I think Wendy's probably got something in mind. Not really a crazy story.
I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say, I haven't sold anything super crazy. I've sold some weird stuff because you do in this industry.
You sold
Oh,
me.
I've sold him. That is also, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Is
pretty.
that
That's
at a
pretty weird.
benefit? Is that legal?
But well, it
Oh,
was technically just his services. Like, I got to keep him, so it's fine. But years ago, when I was just a kid, Dad sold a piece of the space shuttle that belonged to NASA.
wow.
And we didn't know it at the time, though. It was at literally one of those miscellaneous lots, and sold it for $1. And there were 2 numbers on the box. The buyer could either call us, like, if recovered, call this number, or then there was a manufacturer's number. And he should have called the recovery number. Instead, he called the manufacturer number, just trying to figure out what the thing was. And then next thing we know, FBI cars are pulling up in our
Oh,
driveway,
my.
and they're, possessing it and the whole thing. And we find out that later, if that guy had called the recovery number, he would have gotten 10% of the value, which was well over $1 million.
Oh, my.
Yep,
Whoops.
Instead, he got nothing.
nothing. Nope, I just took it.
Wow. And that's a 50-50 shot, I guess. He just picked the wrong number.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, another one of our BAA members, Jim Weigel, he sold an interesting piece here recently. I think it was a piece from the Titanic, maybe a
Yeah.
It
piece
was a
of
bowl.
dishware. It was a bowl
Mhm.
from the
I had to keep her
Titanic.
from bidding on it.
Oh,
I
really?
wanted to buy it so badly.
Does anybody know what it sold for?
$40,000.
Wow.
Mhm.
That is amazing. Well,
And
there
you
you go,
can't even
folks.
eat out of it. It's just like a sit on a shelf bowl.
Everywhere across the world, some of the most precious, most expensive, rare items are sold using the auction method of marketing.
Every day.
And that's
And we
just
want
because
you
the
all to
auction method
understand.
works, Chip. Like,
That's right.
auctions work.
Auctions work. Hashtag auctions work, right? Well, hey,
Yep.
thanks for joining us. We're going to wrap up this session of Gavel to Gavel, auctions across Virginia. We appreciate you being there. Please look us up on anywhere you can find your favorite podcasts. We're on Spotify and everywhere else you see those podcasts. So at any rate, I'm going to play a few more buttons here. We're going to have some fun. Okay. And we are out. Thanks again, folks, for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode in about 3 weeks. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Until then, it's Gavel to Gavel. Thank God.